Okay, so today, this is the first video in the world to say things or to do things that you had never thought of or anyone have ever thought of. It is called harnessing radiation. And this, right now, it's sunny. There's a lot of light around, you can see. And it is very simple. We are harnessing ionized radiation, or ions, electrical charge, electrons, or positive and negative charge. And it is very simple. I am going to go into a shadow because I have to sunbathing in a shadow. Why? Or indirect. Why? Because I don't want the UV lights on my skin right now. Okay? So I'm going to go in and then we are going to talk. Oh, before I go in, look at my dog. Why, he's there. Look at him. He's out in the sun. He's not afraid of UV lights because he has fur. See the concept? I just came out to do the video and he flopped right in the sun as always. There's a lesson there, people. There is a huge lesson there. Okay? So before I start, I'm going to show you the stages of disease that this is how I see so far. And believe it or not, as I understand things, 99.99% it is called and it is caused by the absence or missing ionized radiation. And this is part of my intro that I did months ago, or 2 months ago at least. I called the absence and the presence of ionized radiation and decay. Now, here are the stages before I go into doodling or an artist concept. Ha ha ha. Artist concept or conception. Anyway, a lot of people started to have this thing called EMF sensitivity. These are the stages. This is the first stage. Then they develop autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease like inner ear or even outer ear. Chronic fatigue or chronic inflammations. A lot of inflammation. Crohn's disease. Graves' disease, Hashimoto disease, juvenile psoriatic rheumatoid arthritis, leads to lupus, ulcerative colitis, and many more of all these things. And believe it or not, what I am saying right now on the video, all these, all of them, all the diseases, it is caused by electromagnetic fields, but low form and decay. It's because we weren't able to remove them out. So, when I developed this, I started to see a bigger picture. And yes, through this, they're going to find all of these, because I'm seeing a picture now, then, of course, it's going to develop cancer. What is cancer? In my study and research, cancer is almost to the last stage of all of these diseases. Now, what are these diseases? These are diseases that actually, one, is starving. The body actually starves. Some of these are actually starved for radiation. And then some, it's actually needed to expel radiation. Low form, okay? Low or decay. And because we weren't able to do that, well, we can. One, you have to sleep a lot. Two, you have to exercise. So if you have any of these disease, early stages, before it reaches to cancer, you have to exercise a lot and you have to sleep. And yes, I have that video explaining up here what is really sleep, or even arthritis. Check right here. What is really arthritis and sleep, okay? And then we get to that last stage, is called cancer. Cancer, it's actually cells are dying. And then when we don't fix that, or we can't, when it's too late, then death. Now here's one thing. Someone's going to say, can you cheat death? No. As I understand this thing called electromagnetic field, I see a creator. If you try to stop one thing, something else gonna come. If you try to stop this, whatever this is, the other one will come. If you try to stop this, the other one will come. It's like, I see this creator. And that's why human cannot cure. We cannot cure. But here's one thing that we can do. We can ease. The word is ease. Because our body has to die. I'm sorry, if you're listening right now, that's going to be one disappointment in this video. Our body has to die. And someone's going to ask, can you live forever? No, you cannot live forever. I'm sorry. Because of these. Because of something called electromagnetic field or radiation. Our body has to die. Yes. When we die, and here's the first answer in the world. What happened when we die? When we die is because we cannot hold electromagnetic field. One example, and yes, one example. If you drink a lot of alcohol, what happened to you? Like overdosing. So much of it, what happened to you? You will die. Or drink a lot of poison, any type of poison, you will die. Why? Why? Because there's too much of it. It blocks out electromagnetic field, positive and negative ions, and even electrons. In one of my videos, I talked about that. I even said NASA. I call out NASA. You can block space shuttles and spaceship with alcohol, or acid. So if you drink acid and you drink alcohol, acid is a higher form, alcohol is like the middle form. You drink enough of those, you will eventually die. Or if you overdose, you will die. So that's how that works. Okay? Now, we're going to go to the artist's conception. Okay. So now we are at the artist's conception. And I'm going to doodle for you so you can understand something very simple. Now imagine that fruit, right? A fruit. Then we have the sun. The sun is shining. And then that's light. And then something called radiation. But this is actually ionized radiation. What is ionized? As I understand this, ionized radiation has to be very strong. So it came from the light. When it's being fused in here from the sun. When the sun fused these things, we have light and we have something called radiation. Now, the light will hit this and it bounces back out. Now, radiation will radiate through and it trapped into here. So we got a lot of those. Furthermore, the light photons bounces and some actually split. Yes, they said it can't be split. No. The atom cannot be split, but the charge can be. So the charge attracted to here, some of those charges attracted to here, and it'll be in here. Now, human, we come and eat that. We eat that whole thing in there. All of these things come to here. Guess what? The body use it. So basically, we are feeding the body. This is good for people whose EMF sensitivity and autoimmune diseases. That way, you won't get to that stage, or at least helping it so you won't get to this stage. Remember, we are only easing suffering. We cannot cheat death, as I stated before. So, EMF sensitivity and autoimmune disease, or people who have them, this is how you help it. No videos, nothing in the world that tell you to do something like this. This is the first video and the first thing that tells you. No medical books, all the books in our entire history, they do not tell you how to do something like this, and it's very easy. And best of all, it is all free. And guess what? These things will help you to digest it too. It helps you more than you would know. The average, and before I go, the average, 8 hours in the sun. Here's another one before I go, for this part. Why does fruits always on a tree and hanging 24/7 out in the sun? And guess what human doing? They put them in a fridge. Instead, they store them in the fridge. What is the fridge? Cold. But they always stays in the sun and they always hot. We put them in the cold. Huh? Go back to here. And you may able to reverse all this, or not fully, halfway is better than having something full. Don't you think? Okay, so now it's all done. I'm gonna enjoy one of them. I wish I can do a little bit more. It's sat here for 6 hours. You can do longer than that. Remember, you got 4 hours. Before the particle's gonna start to escape. So I'm gonna eat this now. In 4 hours I'm gonna eat that. I did that for my gram, so she's gonna have one, and then later on at night we're gonna have one before bedtime. Okay? And yes, as easy as that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? No one in the world ever taught us something so simple. They have never taught us something so simple just like this. Can you imagine? You know, I have to be always the one that first. I wish they taught me this when I was younger. Anyway, other than that, that's about it on this video. I will see you in the next video.